Hello everyone, this is Dr.Mihir Shah once again with another video. In this video, we are going to see how to solve sums which are call option payoff based under the subject commodity and derivative market. Now, under the call option payoff, there are various types of sums which can appear in the exam. Okay, now this subject is a very must subject for TYBMS students. So, under this video, we are going to first solve sum which is based on buyer's payoff. So under call option payoff, okay, there are four different types of sums. So we're going to take up in this video the very first type, which is buyer's payoff sum. So let us see how we need to solve the sum. Okay, both tabulation based as well as graphical based. So now in order to solve the sum based on call option under buyer's payoff, there are certain rules that needs to be kept in mind. So first we'll go through those rules, we'll check the format, and thereby we can start solving the sum based on buyer's payoff using tabulation as well as graphical method. Okay, so under call option we are going to solve sum based on buyer's or also known as holder's payoff. So let us first note down the rules which will be required in order to solve the sum. Okay, so here is the format and some important point that need to be noted down. So the heading will be call option buyers or holders payoff. We'll have 5 columns consisting of exercise price, spot price, intrinsic value, call premium received, and finally the profit and loss. Now, few points that need to be noted down. Number one, intrinsic value. The intrinsic value up to the strike or exercise price will be 0 when we are doing call option sum based on buyers or holders payoff. Thereafter, the intrinsic value will be positive difference between the exercise price and the spot price. Exercise price and spot price are the two prices which will be given in the question. Then thereafter we have to find the intrinsic value. The call premium will also be given in the question, and we need to find the profit and loss. Premium, since the sum is based on buyer's payoff, so since we are going to buy a call, the premium will always be negative. And lastly, the profit and loss is nothing but the difference between the intrinsic value and the premium. So based on those 3 points, we will see now how to solve a sum based on call option where we have been given buyer's payoff. So let us see how to solve the sum both graphically as well as tabulated. Okay, now let us check the first example as to how to calculate the profit or loss based on option positioning when there is a call option and it is based on the buyer's payoff. So I'll read the question once. It is said that Rajesh buys a call option of ABC Limited at an exercise price of rupees 100 with a premium of rupees 3. Calculate the profit or loss on the option position for Rajesh if the spot price on expiry is as follows. Now they have given you the spot price on the expiry. So that's 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104 and 105. And thereafter they also said that draw the payoff diagram for the same. So now let us see how we need to solve the sum based on call option when there is a buy option given to us. So first of all, we'll just note down the heading. We'll have to first create a table, but before the table, we'll note down the heading of the table. So it will be called as, the sum is based on call option. So we'll note down call option when, now there is a buy call in this. So we'll write here buyers or holders payoff. Okay, now remember we'll have to create a table which will have basically 5 columns. So the first column, the heading will be exercise price, and we'll give an abbreviation for it as X. The second column will be spot price. We'll abbreviate it with S. The third column will be intrinsic value.
we write it as IV. The fourth will be call premium received, we'll abbreviate it with C, and last column will be our profit or loss. Now, as per the question, the exercise price given is rupees 100 and the spot price are given to us in different range. So 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically we have been given 10 spot price. So we'll have to first note down the exercise price. So at exercise price 100, the very first spot price given is 96. For the second one it is 97 and so on. So we'll first complete this table. So there are 10 spot price, so we'll note down the exercise price for the 10 of them and we'll note down the spot price accordingly. The exercise price will be the same for all the cases. We have 102, 103, 104 and last one will be 105. Okay, so the first two column basically we just noted down from the question whatever data has been given to us. Now comes the most important part, the intrinsic value. Remember, when we are solving sum based on call option, and in that whenever we have a buy call, always remember the intrinsic value up to up to the spot price when it matches the exercise price, the intrinsic value will always be 0. So price when the position when your exercise price is equal to spot price, up to that level, okay, the intrinsic value will all be 0. Reason, when we are having a call option and if we are taking a call at the exercise at 100, so any amount below that will not fetch you any intrinsic value, it will only be above that. Okay, so after the point when the exercise and spot are matching, thereafter the intrinsic value will be the positive difference between the exercise price and spot price. So the intrinsic value for this particular case will be 100 and 101. So the difference is 1. For the next, the difference will be 2, 3 rupees, 4 rupees and 5 rupees. Next comes this call premium received. Since it's a buy call, your premium will be negative since we are going to pay for it. So for all the cases, okay, the premium will be negative 3. So we note down the values as negative 3 for all the cases. Now the last thing that we need to find is the profit and loss, because that's the thing that they've asked us to find. Now remember, the profit and loss will be calculated as, basically it will be nothing but intrinsic value and the difference between the call premium. So 0 minus 3 gives you negative 3. 0 minus 3 again will give you negative 3. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. So this is basically your loss. Okay, since it's a call option and you're taking an exercise price of 100, so any amount which is less than 100 will give you the loss of the amount that you have used as a premium. So 0 minus 3 is again negative 3. 0 minus 3 again negative 3. After this particular point where your spot price is now going to be more than your exercise price, so here now there will be a difference in the profit and loss. So 1 minus negative 3 is negative 2. 2 minus negative 3 is negative 1. 3 minus 3 is 0. 4 minus 3 is positive 1. So here you are getting actually profit. And 5 minus 3 is positive 2. So this is the payoff table of option position when they have been given you a call option where you have a person buying the call. Okay, very simple. You note down the exercise price, you note down the spot price, the difference, okay, of your exercise and spot is the intrinsic value, but always remember whatever exercise price you have taken it as, okay, amount below that will always be 0 and only after that it will be a positive difference. Call premium will be negative since there is a buy option. Whenever you buy, you're going to pay for it, so the premium is going to be negative. The difference between the intrinsic and call premium is nothing but your profit and loss. So this is how we prepare the table or the payoff table of call option. Now same thing, let us see how we can pose this thing in a diagrammatical form, because they have also told us to draw the payoff diagram for the same. So there is a small sketch which has been made up. So this is my y-axis, this is our x-axis. Okay, we will start off with 0. Okay, the top and bottom, the y-axis will include your intrinsic value and profit and loss. Okay, so since the numbers are in 1, 2s and 3s, so positive 1, positive 2, positive 3, positive 4, positive 5, positive 6. Bottom may will have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Now x-axis contains your spot prices. So our spot price was 96, starting from 96. So 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104 and 105. Okay, now let us start marking the point which have been given to us. So now first we'll mark down all your intrinsic value, and thereafter we will mark down our profit and loss values. Okay, so at a price of 96, the intrinsic value was 0. So at 96 it was 0. At 97 also it was 0. At 98 0, 99 0, at 100 also 0. Now after that there has been a change. Okay, at a price of 101, your intrinsic value has become 1. So now 1 comes here, so we'll mark down that point. So this is my point where it is profit of 1. The intrinsic value as 1, not profit, sorry. At 102 spot price, my intrinsic value was 2, so I marked down at 102 my second point where I'm getting my intrinsic value as 2. At 103 it is going to be 3. At 104 is going to be 4. And at 105 is going to be 5. So I'll just mark it. You can take the help of a ruler in this case also, okay? So that's basically my intrinsic value. So now if I try to join it, now since they were all 0, so I don't have to mark it here. So from here we have to basically mark all the points. So we're going to mark it down. And then there's a bit of hinge here, so we just mark down. So that's my intrinsic value. So I'll note it on my key that the straight line is nothing but my intrinsic value. Now similarly we'll have to make for profit and loss. So now look at this. When your spot price was 96, okay, the profit was negative. Basically there was a loss of negative 3. So I'm marking it down as this is my negative 3. At 97 also it was negative 3. At 98 negative 3. At 99 again there was a negative 3. At 100 again there is a negative 3. Now from 101 there has been a upward shift, that's negative 2. At 102 the loss is negative 1. Now at 103 there is no loss, no profit, so it is at an equilibrium price. At 104 you are actually earning the first profit, and at 105 you are earning the profit of rupees 2. Now we'll just join these points. So when you basically join it, okay, you will see that there is parallel line between the intrinsic value and the profit and loss. So this is how we have to solve the sum, which is based on call option where you have buyers or holders payoff. So this is the tabular representation of the answer, and this is your diagrammatical representation of the answer. Okay, I hope everyone have understood. This is the very first sum which is based on call option where you have buyers payoff. Okay, now to understand the call option buyers holders payoff, we'll take another second example. I'll just read out the question once. It's given that Max buys a call option of ABC Limited at an exercise price of 500 with a premium of rupees 30. Calculate the profit or loss on the option position for max if the spot price of ABC on expiry is as follows. Then they are giving you different spot prices: 460, 70, 80, 90, 500, 510, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So basically there are 10 spot prices which have been given to us, and thereafter they have told us draw the payoff diagram for the same. So now let us see how to solve this sum using first the tabular method. Now under the tabular method, we have created a table having 5 columns. The very first column has exercise price, which is 500 as per the sum. Now since there are 10 spot prices, so I'll note down rupees 500 at all the 10 places. So we have 500, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, 8, 9 and 10. The spot prices are given to us, so it's ranging from 460, next is 470, 480, 490, 500, 510, 520, 530, 540 and last one is 550. The next column that we need to find is the intrinsic value. Now since it's a buyer's payoff table, remember the intrinsic value up to the point where exercise price and spot price are equal, the intrinsic value will be 0. Thereafter there will be positive difference between the exercise price and the spot price. So 500 and 510, so the intrinsic value is 10. Next it will become 20, then the difference is 30, 40 and 50. Since there is a buy call, okay, so the premium value in this case will be negative and the value is 30. So for all the cases the premium value will be negative 30. So we are noting down all the values as negative 30. The last part is where we need to find the profit or loss. So now profit and loss is nothing but the difference of intrinsic value and call. So 0 minus 30 will give you negative 30. Again 0 minus 30 is negative 30, negative 30, negative 30, negative 30. Thereafter it is 10 minus 30, so negative 20, negative 10. We have a 0, that's the equilibrium. Then 40 minus 30 is positive 10, and lastly we have positive 20. So our profit and losses is in the form of negative 30 all up to a point where spot and exercise are same. Okay, thereafter we have the profit and loss changes, so it becomes negative 20, 10, 0, 10 and 20. So this is how we have to create the call option buyer's payoff table. Now let us see the same thing, how we put it into the graphical format. Now your y-axis will have all our intrinsic value and the profit and loss. So the intrinsic their y-axis and x-axis intersection point will be your 0 rate. Now thereafter there is going to be a difference of 10. So we can see there is a 10 difference everywhere. So I'll note down as 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60. Same way we'll have negative 10, negative 20, negative 30, negative 40 and negative 50. Now for your x-axis, where we note down all our spot rate, my very first spot price is 460. Then we have 470, 480, 490, 500, 510, 520, 530, 540, 550 and lastly 560. Now let us see how to mark the intrinsic value and the profit and loss on our graph. Now at the spot price 460, 70, 480, 490 and 500, the spot rate for each of the cases, or the intrinsic value for each of the cases, was 0. So I'll just mark down those points. So we have all those values up to 500, 0. Thereafter at 510, the intrinsic value became 10. So I'll mark down that as 10. At 520 it became 20. So I'll take that. At 530 it became 30. Thereafter 540 it became 40, and at 550 it became 50. Okay, so we will join this. So I'll note down this as my intrinsic value. So it starts off with a straight, it's a flat line, and thereafter there is an increase. So that's my IV. Now similarly we'll start marking and finding out the values, the graphical point of profit and loss. So when your spot price was 460, 70, 80, 90 and 500, the profit and loss was negative 30 each. So at 460 it was negative 30, at 470 negative 30, 480 negative 30, 490 negative 30 and 500 a negative 30. Now at 510 your profit became negative 20. So we'll mark that as 510 at negative 20. Then it became negative 10 at 520. So we will take that as 520. At 530 it became 0. So we mark that as 0. At 540 a positive 10. So I'll take that as a positive 10. At 550 the last one we got it as a positive 20. So we'll take that as 520. I'll mark that as 20. And now so here again, for the start till the till the point where your spot and exercise are equal, it is a flat line. Thereafter there's going to be an increase. Okay, so the first thing was my intrinsic value, and the second, the second curve is nothing but my profit and loss curve. So this is how we have to solve the sum based on call option when they have given us buyer's payoff. So this was the tabular way, and this is the graphical representation of the same. Okay, so I hope you all have all understood how to solve sum based on call option whenever there is a buyer's payoff problem given to us. Now stay tuned for other videos whereby we'll be learning call option, seller's payoff, and thereafter put option, under which we'll again have buyers and sellers payoff. With that we will end this video here. Thank you so much.